Alright, we're going to attempt to do our first drawing. We've been building some solids. Now we're going to build a plate with a hole in it and see if we can't create a drawing of this. So the specifications are a 2x4 plate. It's going to be 2 inches thick with a hole in the middle of 1 inch. And we'll do corners on the outside at a 1/2 inch. We're going to locate this at the 1 and 1 on this YZ plane. And this is going to be the drawing number. So first thing I'm going to do is highlight this drawing number that's given, copy that, and go to CATIA. And I'm going to insert a new part, part design, select the YZ plane, and go into Sketcher. I'm going to slide this down, and I'm going to just create a rectangle starting at 1 and 1. I won't even worry about what size it is. Okay. Actually, it's a simple enough thing to do. Why don't we just delete this and make this the right size right off the get-go? I already see an issue. I'm not in the proper sketch, or the sketch is not in the proper location, so I'm going to exit out and make sure the part body is my in-work object. Then I can go to YZ and create a sketch. Go to plane, or rectangle, start this at 1 and 1. Go over 4 and up 2. Now I'm going to create a circle right in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to highlight this whole thing. And I'm going to use a new feature here called auto constraint. The beauty of this is it's just going to automatically dimension everything. My reference elements are my datums. Where are my datums? That would be this line and this line here. We're going to stack dimension this, so I activate stack dimension, select OK, and just like that, all the dimensions are already done for me. This thing's fully constrained. I have all the dimensions that are necessary. I will slide this out. I'll slide this down here. And I'm going to slide this dimension, this dimension down here. Okay, I want it to be as nice and simple to read as possible. I'll put these dimensions over here. I want you guys to get in a good practice of putting your dimensions, so when you're doing your drawings, you're doing the same thing with your drawings, somewhere between 3/8 to a 1/2 inch. The grid's kind of easy for me to line that up, so I'll just line these up accordingly. Alright, your dimension should be a 1/2 inch to 3/8 off the part. Approximately, it doesn't have to be exact. This dimension here should be a diameter. Anytime you're doing a diameter call out, you want to make sure that says diameter, and we want to do a 1 inch diameter. If any of your values were not correct, all you have to do is double click on it and edit that, as you've already learned. Now, I showed you the corner command earlier, but I'm going to show you a new trick. I'm going to go to corner, and I'm going to highlight this whole profile, and I'm going to come up here and type in the tool palette a 1/2 inch radius. And the cool thing about that is it makes them all a 1/2 inch all at once. Alright, so these are all 1/2 inch radius. My part is fully constrained. What I would do right now is go to Analysis and check to see if everything's closed. That outside profile is indeed closed. This inside circle, of course, is closed. So there's no gaps. There's no overlapping elements. You have all elements on the outside profile are adjacent to each other, meaning that they share ends, the same ends, when they meet. I'll close this off, click on this, and it says it's constrained. The only thing is I'm missing my datums. When I come over to this line and use my control button and grab this line so I can do both at once, we can go into the sketch dialog box, which is the second one here on this list, and then pick horizontal or vertical to turn them off and fix to turn those on. Select OK. I've established my datums, but these 1-inch dimensions became red because once I established the datums, these are not needed. But I like to keep them on there as reference to know that I'm truly at 1 inch off that coordinate. So the intersection of where these two lines are will be 1 inch off that coordinate. And just like that, this part is done. We have the last final step. Rename the datum. Go to your contextual menu and go to properties. Under your features, you're going to type in datum A. So I'm going to edit that to say datum A. Make sure it's in caps. Rename this one properties. Change the A to a B. In my specification tree, my datums have been identified. I'm identifying the bottom line as the datum A and the left vertical line is datum B. So those are your datums. I will take a snapshot with my analysis, verifying that it says it's constrained. Take another snapshot with this window open, showing me that you have two closed profiles. When you're done with those snapshots, you can exit out of Sketch and make a pad. I hit that pad icon. If you want to change the size, you can double click it and change that to 2 and reverse the direction and select OK. Now I have the pad sitting in there. Alright, we're going to make this out of 6061 aluminum. So we're going to add this list material. (6061) -T6. That's got to be cap. I just spelled it like they do. Aluminum. Okay. So back to your CATIA. We want to make that aluminum. We go to the Tools tab and select Material Browser and do a search for 6061 T6. Remember that you want to use the one that says Core. Make an apply to that and then close this window off. Select on the top collector and hit your green check to accept the material in the specification tree. On the bottom is 6061 aluminum. With that being said, I can go to inertia, select the part body, expand that material, and get your snapshot of this part here with the material list. Make sure to expand the tree when you do your snapshot. This part weighs 1.3656, so your part should weigh the same as mine, and you should have the same center of gravity if everything was done correctly. So checking the weights and center of gravity is a good way to see if the part was located in the proper place and is built to the proper dimensions. I'll select OK. And that part's done. Now you can create your measurements. I will do a measure between. Select this line here. Select that line up there. Customize that to give it a distance and not the angle. Okay, and then we should be able to try and grab this edge here, move it out. So that distance is 2 inches. Alright, I want to get the majority of these measurements in here to get good practice doing this. So again, we're going to go to edge and then to this edge over here. Place your measurement and then grab your line and move it down. One thing risky, if you don't hit OK and then you screw the next thing up and hit cancel, you wind up losing all the dimensions you have. So to play it safe, you could hit OK. At least I know I got those two done and I won't have to recreate them. I'll do a measure between, and this time instead of those edges, I'm actually going to grab my faces representing the front and back. Now I know that I'm going parallel plane to parallel plane, and that is truly face to face parallel, and it's 2 inches in depth. I now have put in the length, width, and height of my dimensions, so we're good on that. I'll select OK. To get the diameter of the hole and the radius of these corners, I'm going to do a measure item. Under measure item, I'm going to grab only just one edge, and that's a 1/2 inch radius. I'll select OK. All four are 1/2 inch radius, so I'm good with that dimension. That's plenty. For that, I will go ahead and choose measure item and select this edge right here. I got the face, I wasn't careful. I'm going to do a measure item. Under measure item, I'm going to grab just the edge of that circle. I'll leave it there. It still says face and face. There's my edge. It gives me a radius value. I'm trying to find a good place where it doesn't look annoying, but I'll just go ahead and leave it there. That's fine. We're going to customize this. I don't want the radius, I want the diameter. So turn off the radius and select OK. Expand your tree and get your snapshot of your part with all the measurements on there. This part is now complete, and we're ready to go ahead and make a drawing of that. So that will be the next step. I'm going to stop the video here. What I want you to do is follow my video on how to insert a border. So a new module will be opening up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of short videos for you on how to do a drawing. So that way, instead of me doing one big long thing on a drawing, I'll do small little increments of drawings, and if there's something you're stuck on, I'll have little videos on how to get through the portions that you're stuck with. Okay, so we're going to insert the border first, and then the second thing I'm going to show you is how to create the primary auxiliary views. We're going to dress those up, and we're going to create dimensions on it. Okay, there's a bunch of others I'm going to have as reference, but those are all we're going to do for this demo. Alright, so follow the demo on how to insert a border, and then do these two videos here, creating the primary auxiliary orthographic view and dress up. Alright, that concludes this video. Build your part. Hopefully that will get done and you can start making your drawing.